on why Magikarp is my favorite Pokémon. Confucius explained. Magikarp is one of the most famously ridiculed Pokémon. It appears weak, floundering helplessly in battle, and its signature move, Splash, has almost no effect whatsoever. On the surface, it seems like a joke, a useless fish with no strength, no strategy, and no future. But that perception is only part of the story. In reality, Magikarp holds a hidden potential. With persistence and patience, it evolves into Gyarados, a mighty flying serpent, feared for its sheer power. This remarkable transformation echoes ancient philosophical themes of growth, perseverance, and self-cultivation. And that's why Magikarp is, and always will be, my favorite Pokémon. In this essay, I'll explore why Magikarp embodies the timeless teachings of Confucius and how this unlikely hero mirrors the path of the noble person in the classical thought. Part 1. The discipline of splashing. The master said, "To learn and then have the occasion to practice what you have learned. Is this not satisfying?" At the beginning of his journey, Magikarp knows only one move, Splash. On the surface, this attack seems utterly pointless. It's just a flaying motion that has no effect in battle, no damage, and no apparent purpose. But it's precisely this simplicity, even absurdity, that makes Splash deeply aligned with Confucian thinking. In Confucian philosophy, especially as seen in the Analects, true growth doesn't come from instant results or flashy displays of power, but from the slow, disciplined repetition of foundational practices. Students are encouraged to review, rehearse, and internalize lessons over time because that steady repetition shapes character and cultivates virtue. Magikarp's Splash mirrors this principle. Though the move does nothing visible, Magikarp performs it patiently, over and over, without complaint. It persists, even when mocked by other Pokémon or dismissed by trainers. In that quiet, humble motion, there is meaning. It's a metaphor for practice without promise, effort without ego. Part 2. More than just a fish. The master said, "The gentleman is not a vessel." At first glance, "the gentleman is not a vessel" sounds simple. It means that the noble person should not be limited to a single use, like a cup or a sword. But the metaphor runs deeper. A vessel holds things, yes, but it is static, fixed in its role. Confucius reminds us that the noble person should not be defined by one purpose or function. They must be adaptable, capable of growth and transformation, like water, which takes the shape of whatever it enters. This is where the Confucian theme of fluidity becomes important. The ideal person flows through life with awareness and humility, rather than being trapped in a rigid mold. Magikarp is often seen as useless, a waste of space in a team, a Pokémon good for nothing but splash. But that judgment only sees the outer form, the vessel. It misses what Magikarp contains: patience, potential, and the power to change. Magikarp is a symbol of the fluid path of self-becoming, and, in the end, it's a companion. One that stays beside you, quietly waiting until it can become something more. Part 3. Let actions speak louder than stats. The master said, "The gentleman is ashamed to have his word exceed his actions." Magikarp might move in silence, steady and unnoticed, but everything it's doing leads somewhere. At level 20, the quiet labor reaches its moment of transformation. Magikarp becomes Gyarados, powerful, swift, commanding. It no longer flounders in the shallows. It rises, it strikes, it dominates. In Confucian thought, this is not a surprise. The Analects teach us that a noble person does not seek recognition through words, but through cultivated action. The path to virtue is paved not with self-promotion, but with discipline. Gyarados is the revelation of all the silent effort that came before. Its strength is not separate from Magikarp weakness, but a product of it. This is the Confucian ideal, that true power emerges not from quiet dedication, that the noble person acts first, speaks last, and that, when the time comes, their presence is undeniable, not because they demanded attention, but because they became worthy of it. Conclusion: a philosophical fish. Magikarp teaches us an important lesson about persistence, about the need for fluidity, and about how our actions should exceed our words. That's why it's one of the most philosophical Pokémon I know, and why it's been one of my favorites since I was a kid, guessing silhouettes in front of the TV before and after the commercials. I hope this video brightened your day and brought you something meaningful, maybe even something new to think about. So now I turn the question to you. What's your favorite Pokémon and why? Tell me in the comments. This video is an adaptation of an essay written on the Brazilian mud. Read the text for free in the links in the description. Thank you for watching.